Hi, I'm Alexa, and it is Wednesday. I don't have a really in-depth one for you today, although it might be a little bit deep. I don't know. We'll see. Let's call out the obvious first. I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm very excited. There is no black border, especially behind the little duck. Which side is it? There it is. That one. I don't know if it was user error. Over a year ago, when I set up my account in StreamYard, I tried to find this setting that I now have on my account today. And even through my last video, I basically had just been like, okay, they don't have it. And then on either Sunday or Monday, I was watching a content creator that I've never watched before. And it struck me that they did not have the black border, but they did have the duck. And the duck means that they have the free plan, which is what I have. And I was like, oh, it's on. We are going to find this setting. It drives me nuts that a year's worth of videos have that black flipping border. Anyway, long story short, I found it. I feel excited. I could not tell you the exact steps. I'd have to go and figure it out if someone needed to know them, but go dig in the settings. It wasn't a very unintuitive setting, but it wasn't where the intuitive settings were. It gives you options automatically there at the bottom. And anyway, long story short, I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts, if you have a thought one way or the other on which is better. My topic tonight is, I don't know, I could probably waffle on and on about it, but not really. I don't know that I have a very definitive point, but the apologies that never were. There are two types of apologies that never were, big categories. The first, I think, is very obvious. They are the ones that we deserve, that we are just never going to get. For whatever reason, that person is not there. That person is incapable of understanding how and why they hurt you. That person is unwilling to admit they were wrong, whatever, right? There's so many reasons why an apology will never, maybe they're too ashamed to even come to you and apologize, right? You don't know why, but how do we get over that and move on? A lot of the times, those apologies are apologies that we deserve for something that was pretty substantial. And maybe it's not as substantial as someone else's substantial, but it was substantial to us. And so on top of the trauma, big or small, that you have from an event where you deserve an apology, you now don't have that apology. So it's almost like a second thing hurting you further. And then I started thinking about the apologies we don't give. If you were to stop and think right now, could you name a couple, 2, 3, maybe 5 people that probably deserve some sort of apology from you, big or small? I think about, as we go through life and as we face our own mortality, the mortality of the people around us, the regrets at the end of our lives, what are those? And if you've ever read any type of article about this, the carers who are with people at their end of their lives a lot, they say that there are common regrets. And one of them is the not mending fences, holding grudges, not apologizing, things like that. How do we overcome that? We all have valid reasons for doing the things that we do. Whether those reasons are right or not, listen, right is subjective. I think that we all generally agree on broad categories of right and wrong. But what is truly right and wrong in that gray area in the middle of life, it's subjective to a lot of us, right? we might have a slightly different line in the sand of that's too far. But we have to live with ourselves. We have to live with ourselves 24/7. That's where I was going with this. We have to live with ourselves 24/7, and nobody else does. So we have to be true to ourselves, and we have to know that we're the only person here for ourselves 24/7 for the everyday of our life. There is nobody else who will be there 24/7 with us, in our mind, talking to us, telling us all the, I don't know, pros, cons, cheerleading, whatever it is, right? Nobody else is there. We have to be able to have our own backs and be able to go to bed at night knowing our conscience is clear, or we did the right thing, or we made the only choice we could in the time, or whatever it is. We need to be able to go to sleep at night. But at what point does being stubborn, I'm going to wait for them to apologize, and then I'll apologize because they were the one who hurt me, and then I was hurt, so I did something and I should apologize, but they have to apologize first. At what point does being stubborn only hurt us more? How much life and laughter and joy do we miss with people that we care about? Because we're waiting for them to apologize. And then conversely, how much life are we missing with people that we love, that we have fun with, that we find joy being with, because we don't apologize? How many of us think about the apologies we don't make as often as the apologies we do make? Now, I try to apologize as soon as I realize that something I did, whether intentional or unintentional, has hurt someone else. That doesn't mean that once the apology has been given, that one, they have to take it, because they don't. They could be like, yeah, screw you, I don't want that. Your apology is meaningless, right? People are going to think that sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Or two, thank you, that's great. That does make me feel better. I still don't want you in my life. I mean, I know there are people in my life that I won't let back in. I will cheer for them from afar. I genuinely wish them well. But their behavior has not changed, and they're not coming back. They don't get access into my personal life, into my inner sphere, sanctum. They're not. They're just not coming back in. There are also the people, oh, hi. There are also the people who have not apologized. And I've had to find my way forwards without that apology. I know they're never going to apologize. And then I started wondering about the people that I'm never going to apologize to. Did I miss something? Was I justified? Was I right? Was I, and again, it's all subjective, isn't it? Of course I felt right in the moment, but was there something I didn't know? It takes a lot to sit down and listen to other people, to hear their feelings, because a lot of the time, it's not even about the actions, it's about how they felt. Whether they misunderstood or not what you were intending, whether you never intended to hurt them or not, a lot of the times, it's about how they felt. Sometimes I really hate that I think about that so much. How are they understanding this? How are they receiving this? How did they feel in that moment? And really putting myself in their shoes and understanding where they came from. I do feel like I tend to forgive bad behavior pretty quickly because I understand being hurt and saying and doing the wrong thing out of hurt. I do that. I'm human. It happens. But I have certainly learned in life that a whole lot of people don't even ever think about thinking about how the other person felt. Like, it's not even a concept to them that the other person might have been justified, that from their perspective, from their past, their background, their knowledge, their previous experiences, we can only ever experience a situation based on our own amalgamation, combination of knowledge and things that have happened to us in the past. So if when someone does a certain thing in the past that has then led to those other people who did that same thing hurting you, you're instantly going to think this person's not trustworthy, they're going to hurt me, I'm going to get hurt. Ultimately, when someone does certain things and people in your past who have helped you, protected you, loved you, when they do that, it has made you more safe, you're instantly going to feel safe for that person. Now, there's people out there who will exploit that and then backstab you, for want of a better word. But you're never going to truly know that could be a thing that happens until you experience it. And both ways, good or bad, you're not. So you can either be very distrustful based on the life you've had. You can be way too trusting. You can be naive. You can be jaded. You can have all of these things, but it's always about what we bring to the interaction. We can only see through the lens of our knowledge. And yes, we can learn more, and we can then, the next time stuff comes up, have a different perspective. But in general, a lot of people have not been through certain things. I sometimes think my rose-colored glasses were completely broken, which isn't a bad thing. But I think that a lot of people do still have rose-colored glasses, or sometimes I think of like blinkers on a horse, because people have just never had them removed to see the stuff that goes on outside of their little microcosm. And I'm fully aware that I've said that now, that it's almost certainly something else is going to happen in my life where I'm like, oh, dang, I never knew that. Okay. I still have blinkers on somewhere, blinders, whatever they call them. I think it's blinders, right? I absolutely still have blinders on in certain areas of my life, simply because I've never experienced certain things. I mean, listen, there's so much to experience in a world. Like, no one is ever going to experience everything. It's impossible. So we will always all have some sort of blinder in this sense, this lack of knowledge of this one subject, because we've just never experienced it. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean we can't think about what it might feel like. I'm struggling really a little bit right now with this desire to mend a bridge. But I don't think it was me that broke it. And it really kind of annoys me that it's going to fall on me to fix it. That's frustrating. You know, I'm human. I deserve apologies. I deserve that respect, right? But I also know that in various situations when we're hurt, and this one did hurt me, we do and say things out of pain, out of our experience. And so there probably is. Maybe they think that I was the one who did the thing wrong in the first place because they don't understand their actions. I don't know. Maybe. But at some point in life, we have to be okay with not getting and not giving, even if we want to, apologies. And how we deal with that, how we move forwards from that, it's different for all of us. What, did you want to add something? Did you want to come and say hi real quick? Because you're so cute. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Look at this little house panther. Oh, he's so pretty. You can't see him because he's so dark. There's Kane. He's a good boy. Well, y'all, if you made it this far, thank you. As always, be kind to yourself. We'll see you on the next one.